The night at 3 a.m. was bright as day. A sudden blinding flash swept through the city, and instantly all its people disappeared. Was this a supernatural phenomenon or an alien invasion? A week earlier, Jenny and Jason arrived in Iceland, utterly captivated by its natural wonders. Jenny was constantly amazed by nature's incredible artistry and even joked about wanting to live there forever. On the eve of their departure, Jenny gazed out the window and noticed a strange white glow on the horizon, its dazzling brilliance forcing her to squint. Assuming it was just the aurora, Jenny shrugged it off and went back to sleep. At daybreak, Jason roused Jenny for breakfast. Yet the hotel dining area stood eerily vacant. Thinking the staff were still in bed, they dressed and went out for breakfast. But stepping outside, they realized something was wrong. The whole city was deathly quiet. Empty streets, litter everywhere, ghosts of the city's bustling past.
Hello?
They exchanged puzzled glances, suspecting a major event might be underway nearby. As they explored further, things became far more complex than expected. The supermarket stood wide open, deserted as if the staff had simply vanished. They would have locked up otherwise. They combed through the city, checking every store and supermarket, knocking on countless doors, yet found no trace of any living soul. They stepped into a bar where chairs stood in perfect order as if time had stopped at last, called the previous night. The unsettling atmosphere pushed Jenny to the brink. Fighting her mounting fear, she turned on the wall TV. Every news channel showed only static. They left the bar in disappointment, Jenny frowning as her calls went unanswered despite the strong signal. Back at the hotel, Jason frantically searched for updates online, but every news site was frozen at midnight yesterday. They debated every theory imaginable. Not even an alien invasion could vanish people this silently without a trace. Jason pulled Jenny out of the hotel and headed for the city's highest point to check the situation. They had barely walked a few steps when they found a car stopped in the road, engine running but no driver in sight. They took the car and sped down the highway. At the hilltop affluent district, they were stunned to find it just as empty. Where had everyone gone? They stared at the silent city, finding no answer. Night fell as they dragged themselves back to the hotel. Jenny slumped on the sofa, dazed, wishing this was just a nightmare that would vanish by morning. The morning light brought no change. Reality stayed cold. The computer, unattended, had lost its internet connection. Jenny stared at the lifeless world outside, longing for home. Jason stayed level-headed even in the apocalypse. Securing food and shelter came first. Jason took Jenny to an unattended supermarket, its shelves fully stocked. Like kids in a candy store, they filled their cart with food. Jason loaded the trunk, then drove to a dealership for a new SUV. But then came another issue. Their hotel fridge couldn't fit all their supplies. Time to upgrade their living space. Before they knew it, they stood before a luxury mansion. Their impossible dream turned reality. Jenny grew accustomed to their apocalyptic reality. If they couldn't change it, why not make the most of it? They splurged on the abandoned world's treasures, raiding boutiques for designer clothes, stocking up on supplies, and toasting with top-shelf liquor. They felt like kings of this empty world, claiming every landscape as their own. They immersed themselves in nature's embrace, marking every corner with their love and freedom. Their peace shattered when Jason, giddy while shopping, took a tumble and hurt his arm. Jenny's face darkened as she scolded him. With no doctors around, any injury could be disastrous. Jason just shrugged. He was simply enjoying life. They had a big fight about it. After cooling off, Jason saw Jenny's point. He brought her flowers to apologize for his outburst, but she had already fallen into deep depression. Their fight was like a knife, cutting through their shared dream and forcing them to face the harsh truth: they were alone in the world. Humans are social by nature. We can't live like solitary animals. Jenny just wanted to go home to her family, not barely survive in this strange place. Jason tried to convince her to stay and adapt since they couldn't change things. We still have each other to build a new world, but Jenny was tired of this life and had no interest in Jason's idea. Back at the mountaintop, the unmentioned hot springs word rang up. Jenny remembered their grand plans, but now she didn't want to stay. Seeing Jenny's despair, Jason took her to the airport to try their luck. As anticipated, the deserted airport was completely empty with all systems down, crushing their last hope of flying out. The city's geothermal power could sustain electricity for years without maintenance. Other essential systems were quickly breaking down as well. When the water stopped, Jenny knew they were in trouble. Without it, they wouldn't survive long, and the supermarket food was already going bad. At dawn they drove their SUV to the outskirts searching for hope. After a full day of travel across the wilderness, they only found a wrecked plane with a scarred hull covered in strange carvings clearly abandoned long ago. They spent the night in the plane. Returning to the city next day, they found the same eerie silence. Every morning, Jenny checked the computer for any sign of internet. While scavenging in the supermarket, Jason discovered numerous pipes and used his physics expertise to construct a simple water pump. This innovation sparked hope in both of them, as fresh vegetables might now be within reach. Stumbling into a flower shop that afternoon, they found a carpet of dead petals, every plant long since withered. The sight saddened Jenny again, perhaps the city's inevitable fate. Determined to find a new way, they changed their route that afternoon, driving to remote suburbs. As dusk fell, Jason stopped at a secluded cottage where they decided to stay overnight. Without a word, they entered directly, their silent actions reflecting their shared acceptance that only the two of them remained in this desolate world. As Jason foraged for firewood, an old man emerged from the trees, equally astonished. Having gone so long without human contact, Jason handed him water to steady his nerves. The three returned inside and talked naturally. After the phenomenon, he left his city job for this family home, only to find his loved ones gone, surviving alone on dwindling supplies. With supplies gone, he'd made peace with ending his life. Jason's heart ached as he pleaded earnestly, "Hold on to hope. We're not alone now. If we keep moving forward, we will find others who survived this." The old man's sole desire was to swiftly reunite with his family in heaven. The old man's words cut through Jenny's denial, forcing her to face the painful truth she'd avoided. Where had all the missing people gone? Normally, anyone would starve after days without food or water. Their chances of finding the missing were fading fast. Jenny found the old man passed away peacefully. Jason buried him in the backyard. At least he'd be with his family now. Jenny didn't get it with the world ending. What difference did a burial make? She resolved to search every inch of the city, leaving no stone unturned. They drove down every street, checking each house and marking the empty ones with red tape. Jason thought it was pointless, but he supported Jenny anyway. After scouring most of the city for a week, Jenny had to face the truth: her search was futile, and they might indeed be Earth's last survivors. Jenny's face turned ashen like a fading flower. She often sat crying before the computer, flipping through old photos with growing longing, until she could no longer endure the crushing loneliness. At dawn, Jason awoke to find Jenny missing. Only the photos remained on the table. Flipping through them, her joyful smile had turned to despair. Panicked, he drove through the city searching desperately, but she had vanished without a trace. Jason recalled Jenny's favorite hot spring and hit the gas. Jason spotted Jenny's car at the mountain base and raced to the hot spring, only to find her motionless body floating in the water, his heart breaking at the sight. He plunged into the water, dragged her to the shore. But it was too late. Jenny was already gone. Kneeling by the water, Jason sobbed. Gazing at Jenny's body, life seemed pointless. But as he sank, the pain of drowning forced him back up. He gave up on ending his life now. He'd be the only one left to endure this empty world. That wraps up book, leaving us wondering where the vanished people disappeared to. Some may find this ending unsatisfying, but Jason choosing life was clearly the best call. A free spirit like Jenny was just an exception. In most doomsday settings, people kill each other for scraps of supplies, yet these two protagonists monopolize nearly all resources without facing threats from humans or beasts, unknowingly living the dream life every survivor craves. Human desire truly knows no limits. That's all for today. Share your thoughts in the comments below and see you next time.